Good afternoon, Appleby. Finally standing here, gripping this eagle mantle, and completing a chapel speech means a lot to me. Before I came to Appleby, I watched my sister's speech, which was very moving for both herself and my family. Although she cannot be here today, she is a big reason why I'm speaking to you. I want to start off with a Coach K quote, because come on, everything this guy says is pure gold. And plus, it foreshadows a major topic in my speech. He said, if at the end of it all, you're either crying for joy or you're crying for sorrow, and if you are, then that means you put everything into it. I have one main lesson that I believe is helpful for everyone in the room to hear. Find something you're passionate about, pursue your goals aggressively, and adopt a mindset of self-improvement. But I want to start off on a different note. If it were 2 years ago today, I would be completing this speech through Zoom, and all of you would be sitting at your desk or in your bed, half listening to my words. Half of you probably wouldn't even click the link to join. You know who you are. We have all been through so much in the past 2 years. I think it's important to recognize how far we have came and that we've all battled through the pandemic. It was challenging for all of us, students, faculty, everyone. And like many, I struggled with not being able to see my friends and not being able to play and compete in sports. And I think we should all recognize and be proud of what we have accomplished, what we have endured, the adversity that we have faced, and that we are all here today. And just being here today is something to be proud of. Now back to the main topic of my speech. Let me ask a question to you. What stands out to you about Dr. Carter? For those who don't know Dr. Carter, just know he's an absolute beauty. I love the guy. For me, he symbolizes someone who pursues his passion every day through what he teaches, history. I know I'm going to sound like a nerd, but I'll say it anyway. I love history. But last year in American history with Dr. Carter was when my passion for US history really began. And I don't think he really realizes how much his class meant to me. But he gave me the push to pursue something that was out of the ordinary for a teenager, like American history. Now, since then, I have read many, many books on US history, and this hobby brings me a lot of joy. Now, I know you're all asking yourself, why is this story even important? I hate history class, it's terrible. Well, every day, Dr. Carter pursues his passion of history. If you take any class with him, you can tell that he loves what he does. He is following his passions. Be like Dr. Carter. Now I'm going to talk about a second person that I believe leads a life with passion, and he's sitting right there, Jacob Shadle. Where do I start? I think one thing that really strikes me most about him is his relentless pursuit of getting stronger in the gym. He is obsessed with the gains. We can all tell just by looking at him, he's huge. He's getting really red right now. But at times, I've thought to myself that it's actually negative how obsessed this guy is by working out. No jokes. Sometimes he prioritizes working out to the point that all of his friends and I are hanging out waiting for him whilst he works out. But when I think about it further, I begin to respect him for this. It's not necessarily a negative thing to be obsessed by something. I believe it's rather the opposite. In the society that we live in and at Appleby College, they preach an experience that's filled with balance. My point is that if you really love something, pursue that without fear. For Jake, working out brings tremendous purpose, many long-term goals, and a deep passion. Anyone who is at the top of their industry is at least a little bit obsessed by what they do. Be like Jacob. I think that I've always been goal-oriented, even as a young child. I remember one time in middle school, and the time I really wanted to be a tight end and make it to the NFL. Truth is, I never played a single snap of football. We don't have to talk about that. I recall a time in grade 7, one night in particular, as I stood in my parents' room. My dad and I had just watched the Patriots game. I looked at my dad and said, I am going to be the next Rob Gronkowski. Mark my words. Remember this moment, Dad. He looks at me and starts laughing. I look back at him with a death stare, say, "Dad, why are you laughing? This isn't funny." He laughs even harder. I remember going to bed pretty pissed off that night. The point of this story is that since I was young, I had these huge goals and dreams like every child, except I believed it. I was serious about it. We all look back at moments like these with slight embarrassment. I'm still not sure how I thought this body could make it to the NFL. But the important thing is that I had a dream. I think I can speak for all of us when I say that as children, we all had dreams of some sort. Whether that was to play professional sports, to be a famous artist, or to be a successful business person, we all had dreams. But as we get older, these dreams start to fade. I think this is because it's one thing to dream as a child, but as adults, we're told to be realistic. This obsession with trying to be realistic is enforced by societal standards. There is this fear against vocalizing your goals and dreams because we see people who publicize their ambition as overly goal-oriented, as obsessive, and arrogant. But I wish that this would change, and I believe that I actively fight this. It's not easy to say, but I will do it right now. As a child, my dream was to win the Masters, to sink a 10-foot putt on 18, take my hat off, and listen to the ovation of the crowd and put the green jacket on. But right now, my dream is to work as an investment banker at Goldman Sachs in New York City. I encourage you to vocalize your goals and dreams with your family and friends. Don't be scared to be ambitious. I think that's the worst thing someone can do in life, to settle with being average. Even in grade 7, I knew I wanted to be an S1 leader, and I wanted to complete a chapel speech like I am right now, and to become a prefect. And these dreams stuck with me throughout high school. In grades 7 and 8, my favorite part of the day was getting to see my S1 leaders. I love them, Mikhail Malik and Grace Danner. So when I didn't get S1 leader in grade 11, I was devastated. And obviously, in the bigger picture and larger context of life, really doesn't mean much. But here in this bubble called Appleby College, it was big for me. Initially, I didn't react well to this adversity. It was challenging. But I learned the lesson that if I really wanted something, I had to go get it myself. This gave me so much added motivation when I applied for prefect. One thing that stuck with me throughout high school is the idea of self-improvement. The book Atomic Habits refers to this as the 1% rule. If you hypothetically improve yourself by 1% each day, after a year, you'll be 37 times better than you were at the start of the year. One long-term goal for me is to get into McGill's business program. This has been a fairly long-term goal for me since the beginning of grade 12. It's something that I've dreamt for, something that I've sacrificed for, and something that I've stressed for. And I think a few people in this room would understand this feeling. The feeling of giving it everything, but truly your everything. Pursuing something with so much motivation that it keeps you up at night, dreaming and manifesting. I wish to everyone in this room that they live a life of passion like I do. Regardless of whether I get into the program or not, I will know that I gave it my best. But far too many people use the two words, their best, in a light way. Your best is a sacred two-word phrase. Only you know what this means. For me, it meant studying diligently every night and studying and sacrificing my free time to study. This mindset of self-improvement is vital to fulfilling your human potential. Far too many people worry about their own limits, that they don't even accomplish anything close to their own potential. You may think of one passion immediately, or it may be a few different passions. But the point is that find something that excites you and pursue it without fear. For you, this may be pursuing a D1 hockey scholarship, it may be being a prefect, it may be starting your own business. Be like Dr. Carter. Be like Jacob Shadle. And pursue your goals without fear and gain a mindset of self-improvement. Now please rise and loudly sing hymn number 423, How Great Thou Art. Thank you.